Stop explaining yourself to people who don't care about your growth. The more you talk, the more they'll distract you from what actually matters. Your progress doesn't need praise to be real. Every quiet step forward still counts and still changes your life. Working on yourself is not a trend. It's a personal decision to leave behind everything that held you back. When you focus on yourself and put your head down to work, everything starts to change. No one needs to hear about your plans because they'll see the results when it's time. The real glow-up happens in silence, far away from attention, noise, and approval. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. What you need is effort, consistency, and time. Today we'll talk about why tuning out the world and staying locked into your journey can lead to real growth and unshakable peace. If you're ready to stop waiting for approval and start moving with purpose, then let's dive in. Number 1. Ignore distractions and commit fully to your goals. Every day someone out there wakes up with a dream, but by the end of the day they've done nothing about it. Why? Not because they don't want it. It's because they keep letting everything else pull them away from it. The phone lights up, a notification pops up, someone calls with nonsense, a drama breaks out somewhere, and just like that, their day gets swallowed. Most people live their lives in pieces. A bit of energy here, a few minutes there, half an hour of scrolling, and maybe if there's time left, they give a slice to what really matters. That's not how goals get done. That's not how you build something that lasts. That's how you stay stuck. The truth is, distractions today aren't just interruptions, they're temptations. The temptation to quit early, the temptation to compare, the temptation to take the easy way, to feel good for a moment instead of building a life that makes you proud every day. That temptation is everywhere. And here's the hard truth. Most people give in. They say they're committed, but they keep showing up halfway. They say they're focused, but their attention is split between 10 things that don't matter. And years go by like this. Years. And then they wonder why they feel empty, why their goals never took shape, why nothing really changed. You can't build a strong life on weak habits. You can't get anywhere meaningful by giving your time and attention to things that add no value. If you want a life that feels purposeful, a life that reflects effort and growth, then you have to learn how to ignore what doesn't move you forward. You have to choose it. Not once, but every single day. Because distraction is not a one-time event. It's a daily battle. It's a test that never ends, and either you win or it wins. That's the game. There's no special secret to success. People think there is. But the truth is, it's boring. It's unglamorous. It's often lonely. It looks like saying no to the party. It looks like keeping your head down while everyone else is out chasing applause. It looks like working when no one sees you. It looks like showing up tired, showing up unsure, showing up afraid, and still putting in the work. If you don't have that level of commitment, you'll always be chasing comfort instead of results. You have to draw a line in your life between what you want and what you'll tolerate. If you want focus, you can't let noise take over. That means cutting out the unnecessary. It means unfollowing people who don't add value. It means staying away from conversations that drain you. It means being okay with being misunderstood. It means turning off the noise and turning up your discipline. Most people won't do that, and that's exactly why you should. If you're serious about your goals, if you really want to change your life, then you need to build a mindset that doesn't flinch every time something new pops up. You need to remind yourself what's at stake. You don't get to complain about the results you didn't get because of the distractions you chose. This is your life and you only get so many hours. Use them wisely. Use them in a way that builds something. Something you can look at and say, I did that. That came from me. That came from staying focused when it was easier to quit. Focus isn't a talent. It's a decision. A decision you make 100 times a day. And here's what most people miss. Distractions are not always loud. Sometimes they're soft, harmless looking. They wear the disguise of entertainment or comfort or just one quick check. But every time you give them your time, you take time away from your growth. You trade progress for pleasure. You trade clarity for noise. You trade the future for a little bit of now. Don't fall for it. You need to start honoring your time. You need to start protecting your energy. Treat your attention like a currency, because it is. You spend it somewhere every moment. And every bit you give away to things that don't matter is a bit less you have for what does. That's how people drift. That's how people lose years without realizing it. They give away their days to things they won't even remember in a month. Meanwhile, the dream they say they care about keeps waiting, keeps gathering dust. If you want to stand out, don't just talk about your goals, structure your life around them. Make them non-negotiable. Make them something you live for. And don't wait for the perfect moment. It won't come. You start where you are, with what you have, and you build from there. Don't let the world decide what's worth your time. Decide for yourself. Decide that your goals matter more than the nonsense people throw at you. Decide that your growth matters more than being liked. Decide that your time is too precious to waste. Distractions aren't going away, but your reaction to them can change. You can train yourself to spot them. You can build routines that protect your mind. You can create systems that help you stay on track. That's the difference between people who talk and people who do. The doers don't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. They put themselves in a position to win, even when it's hard, even when it's not fun, because they know what they're chasing is worth it. Discipline is uncomfortable, but so is regret. You choose which one you want to live with. If you can focus for a year, truly focus, your life can change in ways most people won't believe. But it starts with shutting out the noise. It starts with saying no more often. It starts with treating your time like gold. Because it is. If you don't protect it, people will take it. And once it's gone, you don't get it back. This isn't about being perfect. This is about being intentional. About taking control of your days instead of drifting through them. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do what matters, and do it well. Every day, without letting the world pull you in 100 different directions. You're not here to be everything to everyone. You're here to build something meaningful. And that only happens when you learn how to shut the door on distractions and open the door to real focused effort. You don't need more time. You need fewer distractions. You don't need more motivation. You need more clarity. You don't need to be told what to do. Deep down, you already know. You just need to do it and keep doing it and keep showing up for it, even when the world tries to pull you away. Because at the end of the day, your life is built from the choices you make, not the excuses you give. Choose wisely. Choose focus. Choose commitment. That's how everything changes. Number 2, work quietly while others chase attention and praise. Most people live for the spotlight. They crave the applause, the likes, the attaboys that come with showing off what they're doing. It's natural. We want recognition. We want people to notice our efforts. But here's the thing. When you focus on chasing attention, you lose sight of what really matters, the work itself. There's a difference between working to improve yourself and working to impress others. One leads to lasting change. The other leads to short-lived satisfaction and empty noise. People who rush to share every step of their journey often do it because they're afraid of being overlooked or forgotten. That's a hard feeling to sit with, no doubt. But that need for constant validation becomes a distraction. It pulls you away from your progress and puts your energy into something that doesn't build your future. When your work depends on the approval of others, you tie your success to something outside your control. That's a risky place to be. Real progress, the kind that shapes your life deeply, happens in quiet moments. When no one's watching, when there's no applause to fuel you. The real work is boring sometimes. It's repetitive. It doesn't come with instant rewards or headlines. But it's the stuff that adds up. The effort you put in behind closed doors is what builds strength and character. It's what makes your success bulletproof because it's not dependent on anyone else's opinion. Working quietly means you're not distracted by who's watching or what they might say. It means you're focused on the job. You're focused on improving yourself, on building your skills, on making progress even when no one notices. It's about developing a kind of internal drive that doesn't need external fuel. That's powerful because it makes you unstoppable. No applause can build that. No likes can create it. When you stop showing off your work and start doing it, something shifts inside you. Your focus becomes sharper. You learn to trust yourself and your process. You stop worrying about what others think. Instead, you start paying attention to how your efforts make you feel, how they move you forward, and how they add value to your life. That's where true satisfaction comes from. There's a deep sense of pride that grows when you work quietly. It's a quiet pride, not the kind that needs to be shouted from rooftops. It's the kind you feel when you know you're doing the right things day in and day out, even when no one else sees it. It's knowing that you're building something real, something solid, and that's more valuable than any temporary praise. People who chase attention often burn out quickly. They get tired of the show, tired of the effort it takes to keep everyone impressed. But those who work quietly develop endurance. They build habits that carry them through tough times when the energy to perform for others fades. That endurance is what separates the successful from the rest. When your work is quiet, your results become louder than your words. You don't have to explain yourself because your success speaks for itself. That's the kind of power that changes lives. Instead of broadcasting your efforts, you let your achievements do the talking. When others see your results, they start asking questions. They start noticing. But by then, you've already moved to the next level. It's tempting to want to share your progress constantly. We all want to be encouraged and supported. But true support comes from within. The more you rely on others' approval, the less you own your journey. The more you work quietly, the more you develop confidence that isn't fragile or dependent on outside voices. Quiet work also helps protect your energy. When you're not busy trying to impress, you save a lot of mental and emotional strength. You don't get caught up in drama, competition, or comparisons. You stay focused on your goals because your motivation is internal. That kind of motivation is far more reliable and long-lasting. Sometimes working quietly means being patient. It means knowing that the seeds you plant now may not grow immediately, but you keep watering them because you trust the process. You don't need immediate recognition to keep going. That patience builds resilience, and resilience is a key ingredient in any meaningful success story. You might feel invisible at times. You might wonder if your efforts matter because no one seems to notice. That's part of the journey. Feeling invisible is uncomfortable, but it's also a sign you're focused on the right thing, the work itself. If you can stay committed in those moments, you'll come out stronger. The spotlight will come naturally, but only after the foundation is solid. Working quietly isn't about hiding your light. It's about nurturing it until it burns bright enough to shine on its own. It's about being humble enough to let your work speak instead of your words. This humility doesn't mean you think less of yourself. It means you respect your journey enough to protect it from unnecessary distractions. When you focus on the noise of attention, you risk losing your direction. When you focus on your work, your direction becomes clear. You begin to understand what matters and what doesn't. You learn to value your time and effort more than applause and approval. You start to build a future based on your own standards, not someone else's. People who work quietly often end up with deeper connections because their work comes from authenticity, not from showmanship. Others respect and trust them because their actions match their words. They don't promise things to gain popularity. They deliver results and build reputations quietly but firmly. Your mindset shifts when you stop chasing recognition. You start to see work as a personal commitment rather than a performance. You become less worried about how others judge you and more focused on how you judge yourself. That shift opens a new level of freedom and power. Working quietly creates space for reflection. When you're not busy broadcasting your every move, you can listen to yourself better. You can notice what's working and what's not. You can adjust your efforts in real time without pressure. That self-awareness is a game changer for progress. People who crave attention often rush to share before they're ready. They want validation before the work is done. That puts them at risk of failure or embarrassment. But those who work quietly understand the value of timing. They prepare in silence, build in private, and reveal their success when it's undeniable. The world rewards results more than words. You can shout about your plans, your efforts, and your dreams all day, but unless you back them up with action, they mean little. Working quietly means your actions come first. You build trust in yourself through consistent effort, and eventually that trust turns into momentum. Quiet work doesn't mean isolation. It means focus. It means choosing when and how to share your story wisely. Sometimes the best strategy is to let your actions surprise the world. When that happens, people see you as someone who delivers, not just someone who talks. In the end, quiet work is a powerful statement about who you are and what you value. It says, I'm here to build, not just to be seen. It says, my growth isn't a performance, it's a commitment. It says, I trust my journey, even if no one else does yet. And that trust is the foundation of every great success. Number 3, build daily habits that strengthen your focus and drive. Most people struggle not because they lack talent or intelligence, but because they don't build habits that support their goals. Every dream, every big success starts with small, consistent actions repeated over time. Yet it's easy to underestimate how much those daily habits shape the course of your life. The reality is this: without habits that sharpen your focus and fuel your drive, you will constantly fight against yourself. Your mind wanders. Your motivation fades. You get tired and distracted. You lose momentum. That's the difference between people who make progress and those who don't. Habits are not just routines. They are the foundation for your future. If you want to work hard in silence and stay focused on yourself, you need habits that lock in that mindset every single day. It's about creating a system so strong that when distractions come, you don't have to think twice. You automatically show up and do the work. That kind of consistency builds power because it removes the need for motivation to always push you forward. Motivation is fleeting. Habits are reliable. The problem is most people try to change everything overnight. They decide to suddenly become disciplined, work harder, and be perfect. But the truth is, your brain resists that. It feels overwhelming. It feels like a battle. That's why most quit before they even get started. Instead, focus on building one solid habit at a time. Start small, but be relentless. Even 5 minutes of focused work daily is better than nothing. Over weeks and months, those small steps add up. They become a force you can't ignore. Focus isn't just about avoiding distractions. It's about directing your energy with purpose. Habits that strengthen focus train your mind to stay present. For example, blocking off time for work without interruptions, practicing deep breathing to calm your thoughts, or journaling your daily goals keeps your mind clear and your purpose sharp. These habits help you cut through the noise of daily life. They make it easier to say no to things that don't serve your growth. Drive is the fuel that keeps you going even when progress feels slow or invisible. Habits that build drive remind you why you started. They keep your passion alive when challenges come knocking. It might be reading a few pages of an inspiring book every morning, reflecting on your why, or surrounding yourself with positive influences. When you build habits that feed your inner fire, you won't need to rely on temporary excitement or outside approval. You have to accept that change doesn't happen in big leaps. It happens in steady steps, in small wins that pile up day after day. Habits create those wins. Each time you stick to your plan, even when it's hard, your confidence grows. You prove to yourself that you can follow through. That feeling is addictive because it's real. It's the proof that you're capable of more than you thought. Many fail because they wait for motivation before starting their habits. But motivation comes after action, not before. You don't wait to feel like working hard. You decide to work hard. You set a time and you do it anyway. The habit grows because you show up, no matter how you feel. That's the secret to building unstoppable momentum. Some habits might feel small or insignificant, but they matter more than you realize. Getting up 30 minutes earlier to focus on your goals. Choosing what you eat to keep your energy high, limiting social media use. Writing down what you accomplished each day. These all build discipline. When you do these consistently, you're creating an environment where focus and drive thrive naturally. You're removing obstacles before they appear. Life will throw distractions and excuses your way. Some days will be harder than others. The difference is made by habits that keep you anchored. When you've built the habit to show up, you don't have to debate yourself every morning. You don't have to convince yourself to start again after a bad day. The habit is the reason you keep moving forward without hesitation. You can't rely on willpower alone. Willpower is like a muscle that gets tired quickly if you overuse it. Habits take the pressure off. They make disciplined behavior automatic. They train your brain to crave progress, to feel uncomfortable without routine. That's when focus becomes a habit, not a choice. When your habits shape your mindset, you no longer wonder if you'll work hard or slack off. You just do what you've trained yourself to do. Sometimes habits need to be reviewed and adjusted. That's part of growth. Not every habit works perfectly from day one. You might have to tweak your schedule or find new ways to motivate yourself. But don't give up because of setbacks. Setbacks are just information. They tell you what needs fixing. Building strong habits requires patience and persistence. One key habit is to prioritize your day every morning. Decide what matters most and focus your energy there. Don't get caught up in busyness or distractions that don't move the needle. Habits that help you set clear priorities sharpen your focus. They prevent you from wasting energy on things that look urgent but aren't important. Another powerful habit is reflection. Taking time daily to review your progress helps you stay accountable. It allows you to celebrate small wins and identify areas where you can improve. This habit trains your mind to stay aware and intentional instead of drifting through the day on autopilot. You have to protect your habits like you would protect an investment. The effort you put into building them pays dividends over time. It's easy to let habits slip when life gets tough, but the strongest people double down in those moments. They know that habits built in hard times build character and lead to lasting success. Avoid the trap of relying on motivation or waiting for perfect conditions. Conditions will never be perfect. Life will always have distractions, setbacks, and challenges. Habits provide a steady foundation, regardless of external circumstances. They become your secret weapon in building a life focused on your goals. When you develop habits that strengthen your focus and drive, you reclaim control over your time and energy. You create a daily rhythm that naturally supports hard work and quiet growth. This rhythm turns your goals into realities because it's built on repetition and discipline, not on hope or luck. You'll find that your ability to concentrate deepens, your energy levels become more consistent, and your motivation stays steady longer. These changes won't happen overnight, but they will happen. You'll look back months later and realize the habits you built changed everything. They turned what once seemed impossible into your new normal. Habits give you power over your future. Without them, your future depends on how motivated or lucky you feel each day. With them, your future is built brick by brick, day by day. It's a future you create intentionally, a future that reflects your commitment to yourself and your goals. No matter where you are right now, it's never too late to start building habits that support your focus and drive. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how those habits transform your life in ways you didn't think possible. The most successful people don't work harder all at once. They build daily habits that keep them working smarter and stronger every day. Number 4, let results speak louder than words or excuses. It's a hard truth that many people face. Talk is cheap and excuses are easy to make. In fact, the world is full of those who explain why they can't, who justify their failures, and who fill the air with promises that never turn into action. This is not just a coincidence. It's a pattern that shows up time and again because human nature tends to seek comfort, avoid discomfort, and explain away setbacks instead of pushing through them. But here's the deal. If you want to truly focus on yourself and work hard in silence, you must learn to let your results do the talking. No more explanations. No more defending your efforts. Results are the only thing that carry weight in the real world. People get stuck in the cycle of excuses because it feels safer than risk. Admitting you failed or haven't done enough can bruise your ego. It's easier to blame external circumstances, other people, or bad timing. Those excuses might feel like protection, but they actually hold you prisoner. Every excuse you make builds a wall between you and the success you want. It keeps you stuck in the same place, doing the same things, and expecting a different outcome. The moment you stop making excuses is the moment you start owning your life. Results don't lie. They don't care about your feelings or your stories. They simply show what's real. When you let your work produce undeniable results, you build credibility that words alone can't touch. No matter what anyone says, results are the ultimate proof of effort, skill, and commitment. They are your silent voice, louder and clearer than anything you could ever say. Many people waste energy explaining why they haven't reached their goals yet. They get caught up in justifying why their plans are delayed or why their dreams haven't come true. This energy is wasted energy. Instead, channel that energy into doing the work that creates progress. That shift from explanation to action is the difference between those who stay stuck and those who move forward. Excuses come with emotional baggage, regret, shame, frustration, and they create mental noise that clouds your judgment. When you stop making excuses, your mind clears. You begin to see what's possible and what you need to do next. You take responsibility for your choices. That responsibility is empowering because it puts the control back in your hands. You no longer wait for permission, opportunity, or perfect conditions. You act. Letting results speak also means focusing on what you can control. You cannot control every circumstance, every person, or every outcome. But you can control your effort, your attitude, and your consistency. When you direct your energy to these areas, your results improve naturally. This focus reduces frustration because you're no longer wasting time on things beyond your reach. Results are often the byproduct of persistence. The world loves instant gratification, but real progress is slow and steady. When you commit to working hard quietly, your results might not show immediately. That's normal. But over time, the small wins add up and become undeniable. They create momentum. Those who understand this don't rush to talk about what they're doing. They wait until the results are solid and visible. It's tempting to share every step of the journey, especially when you want encouragement or approval. But premature sharing can backfire. If you reveal your plans before your work is done, you open the door to doubt from others and even from yourself. Sharing too soon can create pressure that distracts you from the real work. On the other hand, when you focus on producing results first, you build confidence quietly. You reduce distractions and increase your chances of success. There's also a powerful emotional effect when you let results speak. People start to notice you because of what you've done, not because of what you said you would do. That respect is earned through action, not promises. It's a respect that builds lasting relationships and opens doors naturally. No matter how much noise others make, your consistent results place you in a league of your own. Excuses can feel like a shield, but they're actually a cage. The more you defend why you can't, the less you are willing to try. When you decide to stop talking and start doing, you break free. Your actions become your armor. You develop resilience because every success, no matter how small, proves to you that you're capable. That proof builds strength to keep going. Results are also the best teacher. When you focus on outcomes rather than explanations, you learn faster. You see what works and what doesn't. You adjust and improve. Excuses keep you stuck in the past or lost in what-if scenarios. Results anchor you in reality, providing feedback that pushes you forward. That kind of learning is priceless. Letting results speak louder than words means you become less vulnerable to criticism. When your work is solid, negative opinions or doubts from others have less impact. Your achievements stand as evidence that you're on the right path. That confidence protects your mindset and keeps you focused even when others try to pull you off course. It's important to understand that results don't always mean huge wins or dramatic breakthroughs. Sometimes results are quiet changes, better habits, improved skills, stronger relationships with your work. Those smaller results matter because they build the foundation for bigger success. Celebrating these quiet victories keeps you motivated without needing constant validation. Many people wait for perfect conditions to act, explaining why they can't start or continue. The truth is, no conditions will ever be perfect. Waiting for the right moment is just another form of excuse. Results come from action, not from waiting. Taking consistent steps, no matter how small, moves you closer to your goal every day. It's also important to remember that actions without results aren't the goal either. Busy work can feel productive but lead nowhere. Working quietly means focusing on what actually produces results, not just staying busy. That requires discipline to prioritize tasks that matter and let go of distractions. Your results reflect your ability to focus on what's important. Letting results speak means you don't need to convince anyone of your value or progress. You don't have to justify your journey or explain delays. Your achievements are your message. This freedom reduces stress and creates peace of mind because you're no longer trapped in conversations about why things haven't happened yet. When you focus on producing results, you develop a stronger work ethic. You learn to push through discomfort because you know the payoff is real. The effort you put in is no longer wasted time. It's investment in your future. That mindset change makes working hard in silence feel less like a struggle and more like a natural path. Sometimes results challenge your own doubts. When you see progress from your hard work, it becomes harder to believe the negative stories you tell yourself. Your results become evidence that you're capable of change and growth. This internal shift is a powerful motivator that fuels continued effort. Finally, results create momentum. Once you see what you can accomplish through hard work and focus, you don't want to stop. Momentum makes the work feel easier and more rewarding. It builds confidence and opens up new opportunities. This cycle feeds itself, creating a life where success follows effort naturally. Number 5. Prioritize personal growth over seeking external validation. It's one of the hardest things to do. Stop caring about what others think and start focusing on your own growth. Most people spend a huge amount of time and energy chasing approval, likes, compliments, or recognition. The reality is, when you put your worth in the hands of other people, you give away your power. External validation is fleeting. It depends on circumstances and opinions that change day by day. If you build your life around it, you will always feel unstable, uncertain, and vulnerable to disappointment. The truth is this: nothing outside of you can ever truly satisfy the hunger inside for meaning, progress, and fulfillment. When you chase approval, you create a mask for yourself. You act to impress others, to meet their expectations, and to avoid their criticism. This creates stress and anxiety. You lose sight of who you really are and what you genuinely want. You start living for other people's eyes instead of your own heart. That is not a path to happiness or success. Instead, personal growth must become your priority. This means caring more about becoming better than you were yesterday than about how many people notice it. Growth is a process that happens quietly and steadily, away from the spotlight. It's about strengthening your mind, skills, and character, regardless of applause or attention. When you focus on growth, you build a foundation that no one can take away from you. Growth requires honesty. You have to face your weaknesses, your mistakes, and your limitations without hiding or blaming others. It takes courage to look inside and say, "I need to improve here," or "I was wrong about that." When you do that consistently, you develop self-respect. That self-respect becomes a source of strength, more powerful than any external praise. When you chase validation, your motivation becomes unstable. It depends on whether others approve or notice your effort. Some days you feel confident, other days discouraged. You become dependent on outside feedback to feel good about yourself. This is dangerous because it creates emotional highs and lows. Personal growth, however, is steady. It builds inner confidence that doesn't shake with the opinions of others. Prioritizing growth means being patient with yourself. Progress isn't always visible or exciting. Sometimes growth happens in small, unnoticed moments: reading a challenging book, practicing a difficult skill, controlling your temper, or pushing through discomfort. These moments may not get applause, but they build your character and capacity over time. This is where true transformation lives. External validation often leads to comparison. You look at what others have or how they appear and feel like you're not enough. This comparison steals your joy and distracts you from your own path. When personal growth is your focus, you stop measuring your worth against others. You concentrate on your own journey and trust that your path is unique. That mindset creates peace and resilience. Social media is a prime example of how external validation can trap people. It's easy to get caught in the cycle of posting, checking likes, and worrying about comments. But this behavior leaves you emotionally drained and disconnected from what truly matters. Real growth happens offline, in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when you choose to improve for yourself and no one else. Personal growth demands discipline. It requires you to prioritize learning and development even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. It means saying no to distractions and yes to habits that strengthen your mind and skills. It means investing time in yourself even when no one else recognizes the effort. That discipline pays off in ways you can't always see immediately, but it shapes your future profoundly. When you grow personally, you become more independent emotionally. You no longer seek constant reassurance from others because you trust yourself. You know your worth is not tied to applause or approval, but to the effort you put into becoming better. This independence brings freedom and peace of mind that many people never experience. Sometimes people reject personal growth because it's easier to stay where they are and seek external validation. Change is uncomfortable. Growth pushes you beyond your comfort zone, but comfort is a cage that limits your potential. When you prioritize growth, you embrace discomfort as a sign of progress. You welcome challenges because you know they make you stronger. Growth also means being selective about whose opinions you value. Not everyone's judgment is useful or accurate. When you focus on your own improvement, you learn to listen carefully and filter feedback. You accept constructive criticism that helps you grow and ignore noise that holds you back. This discernment is part of building mental strength. Your environment plays a big role in your growth. Surround yourself with people who inspire, challenge, and support your development. Avoid those who constantly seek validation and pull you into drama or negativity. When you focus on your growth, your relationships change because you attract people who value progress and authenticity. The pursuit of personal growth is deeply fulfilling because it connects you with your purpose. When you work on yourself, you gain clarity about what you want in life. You become more aware of your strengths and values. This awareness fuels your decisions and actions, making your efforts more meaningful and aligned with your true self. Growth also changes how you handle setbacks. When your self-worth depends on validation, failure feels devastating. You take criticism personally and lose confidence. But when growth is your priority, setbacks become lessons. You see failure as feedback, an opportunity to learn and improve. This perspective makes you resilient and willing to keep moving forward no matter what. There is also a ripple effect in prioritizing growth. When you become stronger and more confident, you influence others positively without trying. Your example encourages people around you to focus on their own development. This impact is far more valuable than any temporary praise or approval you might get. Finally, personal growth creates a deep sense of satisfaction. It fills the gap that external validation never can. It builds a life rooted in purpose, strength, and true confidence. This kind of fulfillment doesn't fade with time or circumstances. It stays with you, empowering you to face life's challenges and pursue your dreams quietly but relentlessly. Choosing to focus on growth over validation is choosing to live authentically. It means accepting yourself as a work in progress and being committed to becoming the best version of yourself. This commitment turns your life into a powerful journey where success is measured by how far you've come, not by how many people notice. This path is not easy, but it is real and lasting. The world will always offer distractions, opinions, and noise. The only way to rise above that is to prioritize what truly matters: your growth. When you do, you gain a strength and clarity that no external validation can match. Number 6. Stay consistent even when progress feels invisible. It's a tough reality that most people face. Sometimes, no matter how hard you work, it feels like nothing is changing. You wake up day after day, put in effort, and yet the results you want seem far away, like a mirage. That feeling can be discouraging, even crushing. It's easy to question if all the work is worth it. But here's the honest truth. Consistency is the only thing that bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be, especially when progress feels invisible. When results don't show up right away, many people give up. They lose motivation because their efforts don't match what they expected. That's normal, but it's also where most people fail. Growth, success, and change don't happen overnight or in a straight line. They happen in small, often unseen steps. If you stop during this invisible phase, you deny yourself the chance to reach your potential. It's important to understand what progress really means. Progress is not always visible or dramatic. Sometimes it's internal, a shift in mindset, a new skill forming, a habit building muscle memory. These things don't show up on a scoreboard, but they are the foundation for what's to come. If you only trust what you see, you'll miss the real work happening inside. Consistency means doing the right things day after day, even when you don't see the change immediately. You may feel tired or frustrated. You may think your effort is wasted. But in reality, every small action you take accumulates. Like water slowly carving through rock, your consistent effort will break down obstacles and shape your future. This process requires patience and trust that the work you're doing now is building something strong, even if it's invisible. People who succeed long-term have learned to trust the invisible progress. They focus on the daily routine rather than immediate results. They remind themselves that the effort they put in today is an investment. Every small decision, waking up early, practicing a skill, resisting distractions, is a deposit in a bank of success. You won't always see the balance grow right away, but it's building. The challenge is staying focused on the process rather than the outcome. When you fixate on results that haven't arrived, you open the door to doubt and impatience. This can lead to quitting or cutting corners. But when your attention is on showing up consistently, your energy stays steady, you avoid the roller coaster of motivation and disappointment. Consistency creates momentum. Momentum is the force that carries you through tough times and makes progress easier over time. Without momentum, each step feels heavier. With momentum, your efforts start working for you, not against you. That's why even when it feels like you're stuck, the simple act of continuing will eventually tip the scales. One of the hardest parts of staying consistent is dealing with invisibility. People want to be recognized, to see proof that they're on the right path. But often, the work that leads to success is quiet and unnoticed. You won't always get applause for putting in hours behind the scenes. That's why internal motivation matters more than external validation. When your drive comes from within, you don't rely on others to keep going. Set clear routines and habits that make consistency easier. When you have a system in place, it reduces the chance of skipping days or losing focus. Whether it's blocking time for work, journaling your progress, or setting small daily goals, these structures support you when motivation fades. Habits don't require constant decision-making, which frees your energy for the work itself. It's also important to track your progress in ways that don't rely only on big wins. Write down the small wins, the lessons learned, the improvements in your mindset or skills. These notes serve as reminders that your effort is moving you forward. When you see the collection of small successes, it builds confidence and keeps you pushing. Staying consistent requires discipline. Discipline is different from motivation because it doesn't depend on feelings. You may not feel like working every day, but discipline means choosing to work anyway. This choice creates power. It means you control your actions, not your emotions. This control leads to freedom because you are no longer hostage to how you feel moment to moment. Sometimes staying consistent means pushing through discomfort or boredom. The early stages of change often lack excitement. That's where many quit. But real success requires embracing discomfort because it means you're growing. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is often just who keeps going when the excitement fades. It's helpful to remember that most people don't see the backstory of success. They only see the final achievement. They don't see the countless days of quiet work, the failures, the invisible progress. When you accept that invisibility is part of the process, you remove a major obstacle to consistency. You realize that feeling stuck is actually a sign you're on the right track. When the going gets tough, remind yourself why you started. Reconnect with your purpose and long-term vision. This keeps your heart in the game when results aren't showing. The bigger the goal, the longer the journey. There will be seasons of invisibility, and that's okay. Success is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Consistency also builds resilience. Every time you choose to keep working despite not seeing results, you strengthen your mental toughness. You learn to handle frustration, doubt, and setbacks better. This resilience becomes an asset that helps you face future challenges with confidence. It's important to be kind to yourself during these invisible times. Don't expect perfection. Celebrate effort, not just results. Every day you show up and try is a victory in itself. If you fall off track, don't let guilt or shame stop you. Get back to the routine as soon as you can. Consistency isn't about never failing, it's about never quitting. Some progress is only visible after months or years. If you give up too soon, you'll miss out on what could have been. Many people quit just before their breakthrough. Don't be one of them. The toughest moments often come right before the biggest gains. In the end, consistency is about trusting the process, trusting yourself, and trusting that your effort is not wasted. This trust turns invisible work into visible success. Keep moving forward, even when you can't see the path clearly. Keep working hard, even when the results are hidden. Your future self will thank you for it. This steady, quiet effort builds a momentum that no one can stop. It creates habits and skills that form the foundation of your success. Invisible progress today becomes undeniable achievement tomorrow. The choice to stay consistent, no matter what, is the choice that separates those who succeed from those who don't. Number 7. Use silence to sharpen your mental clarity and power. Many people underestimate the power of silence in a world that never seems to stop talking. Noise surrounds us, from social media alerts to constant conversations, from the hustle of daily life to the endless barrage of opinions. It's exhausting. Most people live in a state of distraction, their minds scattered and unfocused. The harsh truth is, this noise dulls the mind, drains energy, and keeps you from reaching your highest potential. If you want to get serious about success, silence must become your ally. Silence is not emptiness. It's a space full of potential. It's where the mind can rest, reflect, and gain clarity. When you stop the noise, you allow yourself to think deeply and honestly. That kind of mental space is rare, but it's exactly what you need to solve problems, plan your next steps, and align your actions with your goals. Many people fear silence because it forces them to face their thoughts. They avoid it by filling every moment with sound or activity. But silence isn't the enemy, it's the tool. It sharpens your focus and strengthens your inner voice. It helps you tune out distractions and tune into what really matters. When your mind is quiet, you can see your challenges more clearly and come up with better solutions. The practical benefits of silence go beyond just peace. When your environment is silent, your brain works better. You process information more effectively, you remember details easier, and your creativity increases. Silence allows your brain to reset, which is crucial in a busy, stressful world. Think of it as giving your mind a chance to breathe so it can perform at its best. Embracing silence requires discipline because it's uncomfortable at first. When you're used to constant noise, quiet moments feel strange or even scary. You might feel restless or distracted. That's normal. It's like a muscle that hasn't been used and needs training. Start small by setting aside just a few minutes each day without any noise. No phone, no TV, no talking. Use that time to sit quietly and simply observe your thoughts. Silence also cultivates self-awareness. When you remove the noise from your surroundings, you start to hear your own thoughts and feelings more clearly. This awareness is crucial for personal growth. You learn what drives you, what fears hold you back, and what habits need changing. Without silence, you risk being controlled by external noise, other people's opinions, the world's chaos, instead of your own informed decisions. Another important aspect is how silence impacts your emotional state. In a quiet mind, you can calm anxiety, reduce stress, and build mental resilience. Noise often increases tension and keeps your mind jumping from one worry to another. Silence gives you a chance to reset emotionally. It's like hitting a pause button to regain control over your feelings. Silence also helps you listen better, not just to yourself, but to others. When you spend time in quiet reflection, your ability to focus during conversations improves. You become more present, more thoughtful, and less reactive. This makes your interactions more meaningful and productive. In a noisy world, the ability to truly listen is a rare and powerful skill. Many great thinkers, leaders, and creators have used silence as a tool to fuel their success. It's where their best ideas were born and where they found strength during difficult times. Silence allows you to connect with your deeper purpose. It's in silence that you hear your true calling and understand what kind of work will bring lasting fulfillment. To use silence effectively, create habits around it. Find a quiet place where interruptions are minimal. Schedule regular moments for silence, maybe early in the morning before the day starts, or at night before bed. Use this time for meditation, reflection, or just sitting quietly. Over time, these habits build your mental clarity and sharpen your focus. Silence also helps you evaluate your progress honestly. When the noise of the world fades, you're left with yourself and your work. This is when you can measure how far you've come without external influence. It's a moment to recognize what's working and what needs changing. This honest self-assessment is essential for growth. It's important to remember that silence doesn't mean isolation. It's not about cutting yourself off from others or the world. It's about creating intentional space to recharge and refocus. This balance between quiet and activity is where your energy and productivity soar. In silence, your mind becomes like a clear lake, reflective and calm. This clarity makes it easier to set priorities, make decisions, and stay on course. Without it, you risk drifting aimlessly, distracted by every loud voice or flashing notification. One practical step is to disconnect regularly from technology. Phones, computers, and TVs are constant sources of noise. Taking breaks from them gives your brain the chance to rest. You don't need to cut them out completely, but being mindful about your exposure helps maintain mental clarity. Silence also teaches patience. When you learn to sit quietly with your thoughts, you develop tolerance for uncertainty and delay. You stop needing immediate answers or constant stimulation. This patience is crucial because real success rarely comes quickly or easily. When you use silence to sharpen your mental power, you become more confident in your choices. You trust your inner wisdom rather than reacting to outside pressure. This self-trust leads to better decisions and stronger actions. It's common to feel the urge to fill silence with noise or activity, especially when things are tough. But resisting that urge is where strength grows. The ability to sit quietly with yourself and your situation without panic or distraction is a mark of true maturity. Silence also allows space for gratitude. When the noise fades, you notice the small things, the progress you've made, the support you have, the opportunities ahead. Gratitude fuels motivation and keeps you grounded, preventing burnout. The quiet moments prepare you to handle the noisy ones. Life is full of challenges, distractions, and demands. When your mind is sharp and calm from silence, you face those challenges with clarity and strength. You make better choices, keep your emotions in check, and stay focused on what really matters. Remember, silence is not a weakness or a sign of loneliness. It's a powerful tool that builds mental strength, sharpens focus, and creates space for growth. Those who learn to use silence effectively gain a huge advantage over those who let noise control their lives. In a world filled with constant chatter and endless distractions, choosing silence is a radical act. It's a choice to prioritize your mental clarity and power. This choice will set you apart and prepare you for the hard work and success ahead. The silence you embrace today becomes the foundation of your mental sharpness tomorrow. It creates the calm confidence you need to work hard, focus deeply, and achieve your goals quietly but powerfully. Number 8. Avoid sharing plans until you achieve real success. Most people face a very common trap: the urge to tell others about their dreams and plans before those plans have taken shape. It feels natural to want recognition, encouragement, or even just to lighten the weight of the goal by sharing it. But the truth is, talking about your plans too soon often drains your energy and focus. It can invite doubt, distractions, or even criticism that undermines your motivation. Before you see tangible progress, your plans are vulnerable. They need protection more than exposure. When you share your goals prematurely, you risk exposing your ambitions to people who might not understand your journey or support your efforts. Even well-meaning comments can cause hesitation or second-guessing. Some people might unintentionally sow doubt because they don't believe in your vision or they don't see the hard work you're willing to put in. Others might push you to justify or explain things before you have results. This shifts your focus from action to explanation. It's not about hiding your dreams forever or being secretive for the sake of it. It's about guarding the energy and momentum that come with private focus. Plans are fragile at the beginning. They need room to grow in silence. When you keep your plans quiet, you create a space free from outside noise. This space lets you build quietly, without interruption, without pressure to perform for others, and without the need to defend your choices constantly. When you're not busy talking about your plans, all your energy goes into making progress. This focused energy is what moves the needle. It fuels persistence during tough times and keeps you accountable to yourself, not to other people's opinions. Sharing too early often turns the journey into a performance. You start caring more about how your plan sounds than about what you're actually doing. This shift weakens your commitment and slows your progress. Another reason to hold back on sharing your plans is the satisfaction that comes with real achievement. The moment when you reach success, whatever that means for you, is far more powerful when it speaks for itself. Letting your results tell the story gives you credibility and respect. People are drawn to what's real, not what's promised. When your achievements come quietly and confidently, they create a foundation of trust and admiration that words alone can't build. There's also a psychological effect tied to talking about your plans too soon. When you verbalize your goals, your brain can trick itself into feeling like some progress has already been made. The energy that should push you forward disperses in a premature sense of accomplishment. The real work, which is often tough and slow, then feels heavier because you've already spent some motivation in sharing, not doing. Many successful people understand this instinctively. They work in silence, investing hours into their craft without broadcasting every step. They know that the hard work done behind the scenes creates a foundation strong enough to support success. When their results finally appear, the impact is undeniable because it's built on real effort, not talk. There is power in mystery. When you don't reveal your plans prematurely, you keep people guessing. You avoid unnecessary opinions that could cloud your judgment. This mystery also guards your confidence. It protects you from the ups and downs of external validation. When your progress is your secret, you rely on internal motivation, your desire and discipline, instead of external approval. Avoiding the need to explain or justify your journey also sharpens your focus. When you are accountable only to yourself, you make decisions more quickly and follow through more consistently. You don't get sidetracked by debates or convincing others that your plan is worthy. The clarity of that focus is a critical advantage in reaching your goals faster. It's common to want to share your excitement. The energy of a big idea is contagious, but there's a way to channel that excitement inward. Write it down, reflect on it, visualize the success in your mind's eye. Use silence as a tool to deepen your connection with the plan, rather than scattering your energy by talking about it. Sometimes you might feel alone in this silence. It can be lonely not to have others cheering you on openly, but solitude here is a form of strength. It teaches resilience and independence. It prepares you to stand strong when success finally arrives, knowing that it was earned through quiet determination, not public applause. This is not about mistrusting others, it's about trusting yourself. Trusting that your vision is worth the effort, that your work matters, and that results will come when you persist. Trust that real success does not need a crowd. It only needs consistent action and unwavering focus. The world respects those who show up and deliver. It does not always respect those who talk about showing up. Results open doors. Talk keeps doors closed or only temporarily cracked. This reality forces a serious choice: work quietly or risk losing momentum in the noise of premature sharing. Avoiding early sharing also helps you avoid unnecessary pressure. When everyone knows your plans, expectations rise. You might start feeling the burden of proving yourself constantly. This pressure can cause stress, anxiety, or even burnout. Working in silence removes that burden. You set your own pace. You measure success on your terms, not by others' timelines. Remember, success built quietly has a lasting impact. It's solid, not superficial. When you finally reveal your achievements, you do so with confidence, backed by real evidence. This moment carries far more weight and inspires others more deeply than any early announcements could. In a practical sense, keeping plans private means focusing on action. Instead of spending time crafting explanations or answering questions, you're investing that time into learning, improving, and pushing forward. Every hour spent talking is an hour not spent building. Over weeks and months, those hours add up to significant progress. The satisfaction that comes from reaching a goal quietly is profound. When you achieve something on your own terms, without the noise of public opinion, you experience a deep sense of accomplishment. It's a private victory that sets a foundation for even greater success. People who master the art of working quietly don't just achieve their goals, they build character. They develop patience, humility, and resilience. These qualities serve them far beyond any single achievement. They become the foundation for a lifetime of success and fulfillment. This approach requires self-discipline. It means resisting the temptation to boast or seek validation too early. It means being comfortable with solitude and trusting the slow process of growth. It means focusing on daily actions, not instant approval. Ultimately, avoiding the urge to share your plans before you're ready is about protecting your energy, focus, and momentum. It's about allowing your work to speak for itself and saving your words for when they truly matter. This strategy positions you to achieve success quietly but powerfully, and when the time is right, to reveal it with undeniable impact. Number 9. Concentrate on work, not on pleasing other people. One of the hardest truths about success is this: you cannot build your future by trying to make everyone else happy. Most people spend too much time and energy chasing approval instead of results. It's a trap that drains your motivation and clouds your judgment. Trying to please everyone around you leads to distractions that pull you away from what really matters, doing the work that moves you forward. When you focus on pleasing others, your attention fractures. You start making decisions based on what others want or expect, instead of what aligns with your goals and values. That approach keeps you stuck in a cycle of indecision and dissatisfaction. The voice of others becomes louder than your own. You lose the ability to trust yourself, and your progress slows down or even stops. People will always have opinions about what you should do. Some will tell you to take safer paths. Others will doubt your choices or question your ambitions. If you let those voices steer your actions, you give away your power. It's a reality check that many never face. Pleasing everyone is impossible, and trying to do so often ends up pleasing no one, including yourself. Concentrating on your work means setting clear boundaries. It means recognizing that your time and energy are valuable resources that should not be wasted on trying to win approval. The work itself is what earns respect, not the effort to be liked or accepted. When your focus is on producing meaningful results, you naturally command attention without begging for it. Most people underestimate the mental load of people-pleasing. When you constantly adjust your actions to fit others' expectations, your mind is busy juggling many demands. This leaves less mental space for creativity, problem-solving, and deep work. Concentrating on your work frees your mind from those distractions and allows you to use your full capacity on what truly counts. There's also an emotional cost to trying to please everyone. It breeds stress and anxiety because you're never sure if you're meeting others' standards. You become sensitive to criticism and rejection, which can discourage you from taking risks. Real progress requires taking risks and sometimes failing. When your focus is on pleasing others, you may avoid necessary risks, holding yourself back from growth. It's important to understand that your goals and passions are yours alone. They are shaped by your experiences, your dreams, and your values. No one else has the same vision as you. This means that the path you take to success won't look like anyone else's, and that's okay. Concentrating on your work means embracing your unique journey without constantly seeking approval or validation from others. This doesn't mean you should ignore feedback or refuse to listen. It means you weigh outside opinions against your own goals and priorities. If a suggestion helps you improve and aligns with your vision, take it. If it doesn't, let it go. This selective approach keeps your focus sharp and protects you from getting pulled in too many directions. Focusing on work rather than people-pleasing builds confidence. When your motivation comes from within, because you believe in what you're doing, you develop resilience against setbacks. You stop needing constant reassurance because your sense of purpose is stronger than external approval. This inner strength keeps you going when the road gets tough and when others don't see your vision. There is freedom in this focus. When you stop trying to please everyone, you free yourself to make bold decisions. You can allocate your time and energy where they matter most without guilt. This freedom accelerates your progress and builds momentum. Each step forward becomes a statement of self-trust and determination. You also gain clarity. When your focus is on work, you learn to prioritize effectively. You understand that not every task or request deserves your attention. This clarity helps you avoid distractions and stay aligned with your goals. It's a strategic way to use your time that most people overlook because they get caught up in trying to keep everyone happy. Real work, the kind that changes your life, requires sacrifice. You'll need to say no to things and people that don't support your growth. That can be uncomfortable because it might upset others, but this discomfort is part of the process. It separates those who achieve from those who settle. Accepting this is a sign of maturity and commitment. In practical terms, concentrating on your work means setting daily priorities and sticking to them. It means resisting the urge to check every message, respond to every opinion, or adjust your plan based on others' moods. It means carving out focused time to do what only you can do and protecting that time fiercely. The results of this approach speak for themselves. When you consistently put your energy into your work, you build skills, solve problems, and create value. Over time, this value attracts the right people, opportunities, and support. You don't have to chase attention or approval. They come naturally because you've earned them. This mindset also prepares you for inevitable criticism and setbacks. When you focus on work and not on pleasing others, criticism loses its power to derail you. You view it objectively, learning from it without letting it shake your confidence. You develop the grit needed to push through obstacles and keep your eyes on the prize. Many who have succeeded started with little support or approval. Their difference was a laser focus on work, not on trying to win friends or followers early on. They understood that real influence and respect grow from what you accomplish, not from how well you fit in or please others. Concentrating on work means embracing responsibility for your own success. It means owning your choices and actions fully. This ownership is empowering because it puts you in the driver's seat. You stop blaming circumstances or people around you. Instead, you look for solutions and take action. There's a deep satisfaction that comes from this approach. When you know your effort is for your own growth and success, not for anyone else's approval, you feel a sense of pride and fulfillment. This feeling fuels long-term motivation because it is authentic and self-sustaining. To build this focus, create daily habits that reinforce it. Start each day with a clear plan of work that matters most. Limit time spent on social media or other distractions that encourage comparison and approval-seeking. Surround yourself with people who respect your goals and don't pressure you to conform. In moments when the desire to please others creeps in, remind yourself why you started. Reconnect with the reasons that drive you, your dreams, values, and vision. These are stronger than any external opinions or temporary distractions. The path to success is not smooth or easy. It requires grit, patience, and focus. Concentrating on your work instead of pleasing others is a mindset that will keep you moving forward, even when the journey feels lonely or tough. It's about staying true to your purpose and trusting that the right results and relationships will come to those who put in the real effort. This approach builds a foundation not just for success, but for a life lived with integrity and self-respect. It's a quiet power that creates unstoppable momentum and leads to fulfillment beyond what external validation can ever offer. Number 10. Trust hard work done quietly creates unstoppable momentum. Most people underestimate what quietly putting in consistent effort can do. They look for shortcuts, quick fixes, or instant recognition. But the truth is, there's no substitute for steady, determined work done without fanfare. This kind of work builds momentum, a force so powerful it carries you forward even when motivation dips or challenges arise. Momentum created by hard work in silence is what separates those who succeed in the long run from those who falter. It's a tough reality check that most never fully accept. Real progress is often invisible at first. The hours you spend grinding away don't bring applause or immediate rewards. You don't hear cheers or get pats on the back. Instead, you face the quiet hum of persistence, doing the job day after day without external validation. That quiet effort is where unstoppable momentum begins. It's the small wins, the incremental improvements, and the repeated actions that stack up to create lasting change. The human mind craves recognition. We want to share every success, every new idea, and every step forward. But sharing too soon can kill momentum. When you broadcast your efforts too early, you risk losing focus, facing criticism, or getting distracted by opinions that don't serve your goal. Working quietly means keeping your energy directed inward, away from the noise of approval or judgment. It's about building strength through silence. Momentum grows when you trust the process, even when the results are not yet visible. This trust comes from knowing that consistent action moves you closer to your goals, regardless of immediate outcomes. When you keep putting in the work, your skills improve, your understanding deepens, and opportunities start to appear naturally. This cumulative effect is what creates unstoppable momentum. Think about a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small and slow, but as it keeps moving, it picks up speed and size. Your hard work operates the same way. The effort you invest now builds layers of experience and confidence. Each day you show up, no matter how small the task, adds to the momentum until it reaches a point where success seems inevitable. One common reason people give up is impatience. They expect visible results too quickly. When that doesn't happen, doubt creeps in. That doubt steals your energy and stops the forward motion. Trusting hard work done quietly means accepting that some of the most valuable progress happens behind the scenes. It means staying committed to your routine and understanding that this unseen effort lays the foundation for bigger achievements. Hard work builds character and resilience. When you focus on doing the work itself rather than chasing recognition, you develop discipline. You learn to push through frustration and setbacks because your drive is internal, not dependent on outside approval. This inner discipline is what fuels momentum over the long haul. It keeps you moving even when enthusiasm fades. Silence also sharpens your focus. Without the distractions of constant sharing or validation seeking, your mind stays clear and purpose-driven. This clarity allows you to make better decisions and maintain consistent progress. When your work is done quietly, you eliminate unnecessary noise and conserve mental energy for what truly matters, delivering results. The journey of quiet, hard work teaches patience. Every successful person has faced moments when the path seemed slow or invisible. They have lived through days when progress was just a tiny step, barely noticeable. Yet, by trusting their effort, they kept moving forward. That patience transforms effort into momentum, and momentum transforms into achievement. Hard work done quietly is also a form of respect for your time, your goals, and yourself. It signals that you value what you're building enough to give it your full attention without distractions. This respect builds confidence because you're not throwing energy into fleeting validation or praise. Instead, you're investing in something real and lasting. Momentum is unstoppable because it feeds on itself. The more you work, the easier it becomes to keep working. Each task completed builds your sense of capability and achievement, which motivates you to tackle the next one. This cycle becomes a positive feedback loop that pushes you beyond limits you once thought impossible. At the same time, momentum attracts opportunities. When you're consistent and focused, people notice even if you're not shouting about it. Doors open because your reliability and results speak louder than words. Quiet work builds a reputation that outlasts hype. It's a deep kind of influence that grows from substance, not noise. Many successful people credit their breakthroughs to persistence during silent seasons, times when they weren't celebrated, when doubts circled, and when progress seemed slow. They understood that those quiet periods were critical for building the momentum needed to launch into their next big phase. It's a lesson in trusting your effort, no matter the current visibility. The peace that comes from quiet hard work is also invaluable. You avoid the chaos and pressure of constant public scrutiny. Without the need to perform for an audience, you can focus fully on mastering your craft and refining your approach. This calm focus allows deeper creativity and more effective problem solving. Building unstoppable momentum requires rejecting the temptation to rush or show off before the work is ready. It means committing to a long-term view where effort accumulates gradually but powerfully. Trust that every minute spent in quiet work is a brick in the foundation of your success. When setbacks happen, momentum helps you recover faster. The energy you've built through consistent effort doesn't vanish. It carries you through difficult times. Instead of stopping or giving up, momentum pushes you to keep moving, adjusting, and improving. This resilience is the core of sustained success. Momentum fueled by hard work in silence creates a self-reinforcing cycle of growth. As you build skills and confidence, your ability to tackle bigger challenges grows. You reach higher goals because you've built a stable platform beneath you. This foundation supports risk-taking and innovation because you trust your capacity to overcome obstacles. Trusting quiet, hard work means embracing discipline over distraction. It means valuing progress over applause. It means believing in your process even when no one else does. This mindset changes the way you approach challenges and opportunities, turning every effort into forward motion. At its core, momentum is about movement. It's about refusing to stay stuck in one place because of doubt, fear, or impatience. When you commit to working quietly and consistently, you start a powerful momentum that propels you forward through any obstacle. Ultimately, trusting hard work done quietly is a commitment to yourself. It's a promise that you will keep showing up, keep improving, and keep moving toward your goals without getting sidetracked by noise or distraction. This trust creates a momentum so strong that nothing can stop you.